you have to use it. Michael Jordan, who was a great basketball player, at one time, the peak of his career was generating $1 billion in revenues. One of the big financial magazines, Fortune, studied all the endorsements, all the ticket sales, all of the television appearances, everything. He was generating $1 billion. And when he was in grade 11 in high school, he was cut from his basketball team as having no potential because he was lazy. And the next year he went back and asked if he could try out again. And he realized, he said, everybody has talent, but ability takes hard work. Everybody has talent. You have more talent than you could use in 100 lifetimes. But to turn that natural talent into ability to get results, that takes hard work. And it takes hard work for a long time. And the great difference between top people and average people is top people are willing to work for a long time to maximize their ability, and average people will try it once or twice and quit. They flatline after the first year. There are many people who have been working for 10 and 20 years, and they know better than they were after the first year. And we're talking not just about average working people, we're talking about doctors and lawyers and architects and engineers. They never improve. They don't read, they don't learn, they don't grow, and unfortunately, if you're climbing this ladder of life and you stop climbing, what happens? Do you stay at the same level? Well, unfortunately not. It's because you'll actually start to decline because your skills will become obsolete. Not only that, other people will pass you on the ladder. And just like in a marathon race, if you're running in a race and you decide to slow down because you're a little bit tired and want to watch a little television, drink a little beer, take it easy for a few years, is what happens to everybody else in a marathon race. And run faster. And then if you decide, well, gee, those people are getting way ahead, and you decide you want to catch up, it's very hard to catch up in a race. Once they've gotten way ahead of you, it's very hard to catch up. So what you have to do is you have to keep up the pace, and keep up the pace until you achieve your goals, until you get to your own finish line. So we say that, what are they? What are your special talents and abilities? And this is something to think about, because each person has 2 or 3 special talents that are God-given. My friend Wayne Dyer says that every child comes into the world with secret orders. They have special talents and abilities that make them unique and different from anybody else. And your job, your greatest responsibility, as Peter Drucker said, is to figure out what you're good at. What are you good at? What do you have the potential to be very good at? This is one of the great responsibilities of adult life, because if you don't think about this, what will happen is you'll do what other people want you or ask you or expect you to do. You'll go to work and they'll say do this, and you'll change jobs and you'll do that. Or you'll be in business and you'll be doing all of these things, most of which have very little value, but they're things that you have to do. So you have to stand back and say, what am I good at? How do I like to work? What do I enjoy doing the most? Where do I get the best results? Every career is built around 2 or 3 key core competencies. These are things that you have a special ability for. These are things you enjoy doing, that you do well, that when you do them, they make you happy, they give you energy, they get good results from them, you get compliments from other people when you work in these areas. And so your job is to identify what those are. If someone were to ask you, what is your very best skill? All the skills that you have in business, what's the one skill where you are really better at that than anything else? What would be your answer? What would you say? It's my best skill. I can do so many things, but what's the one thing I can do? Turn to the person next to you and give them the answer to that question. Tell the person next to you and just tell them what your very, very best skill. Go ahead. Right. This is one of the most important questions you ever ask and answer, and you've got to be correct. Sometimes you can just turn to people around you and you can say, what am I really, really good at? And they say, you're good at that. You are really good when you do that. You are great at negotiating with customers. You are tremendous at selling. You are excellent at picking good people. There are some managers who are so successful at picking people that that's all they do is pick good people, and the people do all the work. And they just direct good people. They just create like a winning sports team. They just create a great team, and they just love win games all the time. And so if that's what you're really good at, that's what you should be doing most of the time. You are responsible for figuring out what that is. Ask somebody. Take tests if you can. and take surveys and get opinions, think about your past, and then what you do is you focus in that area of excellence that you have, and you can accomplish extraordinary things in that area. Whereas you could work in all the other areas where you're average and really never accomplish much of consequence. So, we say here is building a great business. There's 4 parts. First of all, to clarify, 95% of your success will be being absolutely clear. For example, the question, what are you really good at? What are your natural talents and abilities? And then to simplify and strip away everything that's really not helpful. And then finally, to maximize is to get better, to use your time well, and then to multiply. Multiply yourself. So here's the definitions of the 4. Clarify means to develop absolute clarity about who you are, what you want, and the best way to achieve it. I've taught goal setting for 25, 30 years. My books are the best-selling books. My courses are the best-selling courses in the world in multiple languages on goal setting. And what I've found is that if you have absolute clarity about what you want and you write it down and make a plan to achieve it, your chances of achieving it increase by 10 times, 1,000% over a person who's going through life with no goals at all. And it's a very simple analogy. Is imagine I come to Ireland and I want to tour Ireland. However, there's a little problem. I have no roadmap and all the signs have been taken down. There's no signs. And I want to go to Belfast, or I want to go to, what is the city in the south? Cork. I want to go to Cork. Cork's my grandparents are from Cork. And so I want to go to Cork, but I have no roadmap. So I leave this hotel in my car, and there's no road signs and no road maps. How long would it take me to get anywhere? Well, I would drive forever. I would take the wrong road, take the wrong turn, I'd go out of town the wrong direction, I'd drive around in circles, I'd be lost for most of my life. But what if I had a roadmap and a clear destination and a GPS system? I could get in my car, how long would it take me to get to Cork? 3 hours, just like a shot. That's the difference between having goals. If you don't have goals, you're like a person with no roadmap and no road signs. You just are bounced back and forth from pillar to post throughout your life, taking whatever comes along, as opposed to having very clear goals that enable you to go straight to your target. So that's why you people with goals accomplish 10 times as much. Second of all, simplify.